What's up guys, I'm back once again to show you some of the hot mods of the week, and in this week's episode we have a bunch of brand new weapon mods, and whilst we're on the subject of that, let's kick things off with Miniguns Rebirth. And what this mod is going to do is add 3 brand new miniguns into the game. The Avenger minigun, the Personal minigun, and the Vindicator minigun. And going over these in order, you can acquire the Avenger minigun from Fort Hagen on the ground floor in one of the secure cages. And in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 16 barrels, 2 mags, 2 sights, 6 ammunition types, and finally 11 different skins. Now, as well as their respective locations, all 3 miniguns will also be added to the leveled list. The Avenger will start appearing after level 10, and if this isn't soon enough, you can always use the console command help Avenger fo4 ep. But anyway, moving on to the Personal minigun, you can acquire this weapon from Concord on top of the Museum of Freedom. Here you will also find a decent amount of ammunition to get you started. And in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 8 barrels, 2 mags, 2 sights, 6 ammunition types, and finally 11 skins. Now, as for when this weapon can actually spawn, it can begin at level 1, but if that's not quick enough for you and you just want to cheat one in, then you can use the console command help personal for WEAP. And the final weapon added by this mod is the Vindicator, and you can acquire this from Fort Strong in the sub-level armory. And in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 16 barrels, 2 mags, 2 sights, 6 ammunition types, and finally 11 different skins. And for the final time, the Vindicator will start spawning in your game after level 20, but if that's not soon enough, you can always use the console command help Vindicator for WEAP. But anyway, I think we've spent enough time looking at weapons, so let's move on to the next mod. And the next mod I have for you is Park Coventry outfit, and you can acquire this armor from a chem lab under the Park Coventry section, and these can be crafted for a small amount of crafting materials and requiring no perks. And in terms of upgrades, the beanie has a choice of colour and whether or not to hide the character's hair, the gloves have a choice of weave and colour, and the outfit has a choice of weave, equipment colour, jacket colour, and trouser colour. Now, with being a female only armour, of course it's going to come with CBBE compatibility, but that's going to come as an optional file. But anyway, let's move on to the next mod. Now, continuing the theme of miniguns, the next mod I have for you is Plasma-Minigun, and you can acquire this weapon from the castle inside of the armory. And in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 3 barrels, 2 sights, and finally 2 muzzles. Now, it's not too often that you see an energy heavy weapon, and to my knowledge there is only one in the game, that of course being the Gatling gun. So to finally get an energy heavy weapon mod is a nice change of pace, and this weapon really feels like it's something that could exist inside of Fallout 4. But if there was one thing that I had to complain about this weapon, and it's really not a big deal, it's the sound of it. Well, that and not being able to read anything from this mod, but that's not an issue with the mod, that's me not being able to understand other languages. But anyway, it doesn't really sound like an energy weapon, instead it just sounds like a standard minigun. But apart from those 2 very minor complaints, this weapon is still an absolute blast to use, and a mod that I would definitely recommend. And the final weapon mod for this week's episode is the Black Ops 3 M16, and you can acquire this weapon from a chem lab for a small amount of crafting materials and requiring no perks, or from vendors after reaching level 10. And in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 4 receivers, 4 barrels, 4 stocks, 4 magazines, 7 sights, 3 muzzles including none, 10 damage options to balance the weapon, and finally 2 firing modes. Now, as weapon mods go, this one definitely reminds me of a combination between a service rifle and the RU556. And yes, I'm aware that this weapon does use the animations from the RU556. I even use the new animations 3.0, so yes, that might be a contributing factor. But anyway, this weapon is fantastic. It has a decent amount of customization, solid stopping power, and looks amazing. So what more could you possibly ask for? And with that, that's going to wrap it up for this mod, and the video for that matter. I hope you all enjoyed the mods here today, and if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you all in the next video.